How's it going, everybody? It's me, Adam Prime, and I'm back with more Revice stuff because I've been really enjoying this. It's honestly been a really fun toy line, and now we have the newest driver for Kamen Rider Live and Kamen Rider Evil, and it's called the two-side driver, which I like. I think it looks really cool. It has two modes and everything. It has its own little belt buckle kind of thing. If you look on the side, you have Captain Amenhead himself, Kamen Rider Evil. Got the back, which I will be showing off some other stamps and how the bat stamp works in the driver. Those will be in this video. And yeah, that's pretty much all that there is in the back of the box. Even though there is English on here, and I find it funny that it's like, it's obviously supposed to say justice, but it's like, just-tis. Like, justice. Like, I don't know, it's funny romanization, I guess. And, yeah, that's the back. If you flip, you got, to the top, you got your contents. Comes with all the things. It has both Evil and Live. Then you have Captain Long Eyes himself, Kamen Rider Live. And I do really like these suits. I know there's been some people who don't like Live, but I don't know. Like, the colors and everything work for me. I think it looks really cool. I like the orange, the gold is kind of cool, and like the bats that like he might be based off of, like the white and orange bats. I think that's just really cool. So that's it for the box. Nothing else. So we're gonna get the toys in here and, you know, get this video started. So let's go. And here's the bat stamp, and it looks really good. It has a different marbling than the others, and it's green, and I think it looks really cool. The white bat looks great. I think it looks really good. The underneath is kind of interesting. It could honestly be really anything, but it's okay. It kind of looks like a weird smile with no eyes, but yeah, it's not bad. You can obviously do that. And behind the bat, as they usually have the rider behind them, you can see that it has the evil and Live, like, half helmets kind of design, like, that's on the belt buckle. So that's kind of neat. It's like, you can barely tell. It's hard to tell either of them, but they're there, because you have his little head crest thing on top and Live's eyes right there. So it's not the most easy, but, you know, hit the top. And yeah, you get a bright white LED. And for some more comparisons for Vise stamps, here's the Jackal Vise stamp. As you can see it has more of a green. This is the blue of like Revice's often Vise stamps. But then we also have the other kind of marbling for the Bata Vise stamp, and this is still the only one that has black marbling. I know the premium Bandai sets are going to have them, that come with like the mole and scorpion and turtle Vise stamps. But so far, this is the only one we have. And this is so far the only green one, too. So, you know, it's neat. And overall, it's just kind of really cool. So, now let's get to the drivers. And I almost forgot to talk about the belt straps. Yeah. I almost forgot about them. And it's neat that they have the same buckle as the Revice driver. This is the two-side driver, and it's very similar to the Ames shot riser. And it's one of those where it's like the actual driver. Bringing it in for a second. Spoiler alert. And you feed through one end, you feed through the other end, and you have it on that way, that it's not like this, the Revice driver, which has the little bend clips. And honestly, these might be the same straps as the Aim Shot Riser and all of that, but it's the same buckle, definitely. But, yeah. I just kind of wanted to point out that they have the same back buckle. I think that's neat. So, that's also on the back of that. Might as well show off the buckle. Now, actually, onto this. I in no way forgot. I totally forgot, but hey, I'm putting it in here anyway. Okay. Bye. Move on to the next part. And here's the 2-side driver, all out. And this comes with its own batteries, so you can just untab it right out of the box, and you don't gotta insert any. And this is really neat. I think it's both like the standard of like how we usually get secondary drivers in the show, where it's like it's not quite the functionality of the actual belt, but the function it does have is really cool because it's like a weapon combo, because it has the 2 modes. And overall, I think it's really cool. You have the evil and live faces right here, and this is just the sticker, which is kind of a bummer. I kind of wish it was molded, but I guess since you're going to be pressing stamps on here, that they don't want you to do that. And as you can hear, if you pull that, you get the blade noise, but I have the blade slap onto my hand. And it's a pretty decent blade, all things considered, because they're usually really stubby, but this isn't too terrible. And there's that, spoiler alert. And yeah. And I really do like how the blade looks, like that glittery, like greenish teal plastic is really cool. And it's really easy just to flip back down, and you do that. You can reconnect to it. And it doesn't make any sounds when you disconnect it, but then you can also flip it to the live gun mode, and it doesn't really acknowledge whether it's in or out of it, so it doesn't really matter. So there's the gun noise. And I like that blasting noise. I don't know. It's a fun blasting noise. Yeah. And it's that easy. You just kind of hit this button and you can slide it back and forth. But make sure you always do that. So let's bring in the other driver of this year, the Revice driver, and they look good together, if it doesn't knock it over. I do not have the room for this. And yeah, no 50s on this one, because it's funny because I feel like a lot of Revice's stuff has a lot of 50, but I guess that is just for Revi and Vice themselves, so I guess it does make sense that there's that Lives and Evils is different. So yeah, there's like the different factors. This one's definitely bigger, but this is also a weapon, so it's kind of nicer when it's bigger. So that's that. This will come back in a second. But let's start putting stamps in this. So we're going to start with the stamp it comes with, the bat stamp. Then you just slide it in. Get the standby music, which is kind of funny. You can pull this out. I feel like there's nothing really for me to explain, but I think that was a really fun jingle. The laughing is hilarious. I don't know why, but the laughing is really cool. It obviously tells you which writer you are, prominently saying evil. And yeah, you know. Meanwhile, there's no special attack sounds. It's the same one, which is kind of boring. But you do get an attack. And yeah, I do like that they still make the LED go rainbow. And that's pretty much it for the evil form of the bat stamp. But if you want to put this back on, there is a button right here on the back that allows you to take the stamp off. And we will try the Jackal stamp because he used it in the show. And you don't have to use the stamp to do the confirmation sound. You don't even need the confirmation sound because it's just a button you hit on this. So you can just slide it in. You even don't have to leave it off the buckle. And that is it. It gets a whole new jingle. And at the end it just says Jackal. So that's pretty much it for the evil side, but we can do another final attack. Again, I really appreciate that they have the rainbow LED still happen, which I think that's really cool. So, let's get into the live part of this belt. You know, bring back Bat. Do it for effect, so. Flip up to gun mode. Get an alternate version of it. And this is fun. And that's fun. I think I like Evils a little bit more, but I also like the laughing in Evils a little bit more. So, yeah, now you're in gun mode. Same gunshots. Again, you can pull it off. Really, you really don't need this. You can leave it off. You don't need to confirm them. You can just and do the final attack. And that's it. That's the bat sounds for the gun mode. And to bring back the Jackal stamp, because we saw in a magazine recently that he's going to use this also in this form. And just to prove the point that you don't need to confirm it, I'm just gonna got the standby music. And you got that. And to show that what happens if you use the Bata stamp. And I'm not going to do all the stamps in this video. I'm going to do a separate video with the rest of the stamps that aren't in this video. So if you want to hear the rest of the noises of the stamps in this driver, I'm going to just, you know, go back and forth, do whatever's left on some on Evil, some on Live, and just have it that way. But to also just show another thing, I'm just going to bring in another stamp. Since I have the Bata stamp handy, that's what I'm going to use. And it's the same jingle, but it's the Vise, because that's what the gun makes, is the overdrive, power dive, and says the thing. And that's the same thing for Evil. So they're not they're unique by only the Vise stamp saying its name. And the same goes for the attacks too. It's pretty much the same, but it's just telling the Vise stamp to play the LEDs and say its name again. But it's still kind of cool that it does make all the stamps do that, and that's even how I think it's going to be shown in the show. So it's not that big of a deal. And matter of fact, I think that makes this kind of fun, and you can pick it up and just kind of make noises and just, you know, hear some of how the animal noises are said. But it's just kind of also makes it limited, you know, because it's like, it's not giving you whole new jingles or anything, but not to expect that. It's nice that it can actually interact with all of them. So overall, I think, and also if you do this, you can if you switch the blades, if you switch the blade mode, it will go to the darkness finish. So I will do another video of the rest of the stamps in here, and when I do more Vise stamps, I will include this, because it's slightly different, and might as well see what it all can do. And it's like a little bit not that different from if you use it with the axe gun thing, so it's kind of nice in that way. So I do like it in that functionality. It's just not as functional as this one, but this is the main toy. This is the secondary toy, but they want you to buy this toy. So, let's see what happens if I use its stamp in this. And that's a fun jingle. And there's the bat on the Etch-a-Sketch. And I do like that, since this is different for how they work, that the bat isn't looking over at the Magma Doodle version. Like, obviously if you were to do this regularly, you'd get the reversed image looking back at this one. So I like that it's somewhat different, and it's such a weird thing, but I feel like I only picked up on, or maybe other people did too, but whatever. It's kind of neat. And let's get into the remix. Something about combat. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but yeah, that's that. And so, I guess before I get to my final thoughts, let's see how this looks on me as a person, because I did it for the last driver, might as well see how it does on this one. Cut to me! And here it is! I'm back to appearing with legs. And yeah, driver's a decent size, not too bad, and, you know, have some fun. A little bit of a floppy blade. I really like the laugh on that. And yeah, like I said, this is longer than most Toku blades. It's still not, like, probably show accurate, because it probably should be the length of my arm. But hey, you can do it. Hold it pretty comfortably. I think it's a little bit more comfortable, but it's also made for small children, so it makes somewhat sense, but it's kind of nice that my hand can fit in. And yeah, that's the two-side driver. And overall, I do really like it. I think it's a really neat driver. It is obviously limited, but most second rider belts are. And I just think it's a really neat looking driver. I think the gun mode and the blade mode are really cool. The gun and blade modes are really cool. I think it's nice and simple to change it over, as you can see. And you know, and it doesn't make a decent sized gun. Meanwhile, if anyone were to mistake this for a real gun, how much of an idiot would you look at it? It's like, oh, what am I going to shoot you with? This little bump? People are weird. And overall, I'd recommend it. I think the stamp is really fun. The driver itself has a decent amount of sounds, and if you have other stamps, you can get more sounds with it. And reality, you probably only just need one, but it's nice that it at least lets all the other stamps make their own name. And it kind of gets me thinking of another video I want to do that's just talking about secondary or non-main rider belts. Might do a video like that in the future. But overall, this is a fun toy. Glad I have it in the collection. And to whatever else I do, bye. I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to shoot you before you leave. No, I'm kidding. I'm not. You can leave now. Get out of here! I got stuff to do! Okay, bye. Bloopers! The gun mode...
Don't get so overly excited, Adam.
Oh my god.
Sorry.